Chapter 1. What the writing on the tablet says. The sun deity of Mesopotamia, named Shamash, became the Babylonian god of the law, justice, and salvation. Shamash united the lunar and solar cults, absorbing all groups weaker than his belief. The tablet of Shamash is a celebration of Shamash, the law, and the establishing of order. In as early as 2600 BCE, judgments were declared according to the just law of Shamash. The tablet of Shamash is considered by some to be the most divinely inspired work of art ever crafted by human hands. It has been studied for generations. In this book, a bold new interpretation of its message, purpose, and warning will be shared. The creator of this work sincerely hopes that you are both entertained and informed by the information presented. It is imperative that you receive this effort with the same inquisitive spirit that created it. The tablet of Shamash we have today was found in approximately 1881 CE. It was lost during the reign of Adad-apla-iddina, when the Sutu, or Sutians, sacked and looted the cities of Uruk and Nippur. During the reign of Simbar-Sipak, a shrine to Shamash was created, and a priest was given the task of providing offerings in the hope that Shamash's favor would once again return to the land. The surviving tablet of Shamash is a commemorative engraving celebrating the rediscovery of the original tablet during the reign of King Nabu-apla-iddina. For our purposes, we will say the original tablet was found in approximately 870 BCE. At that point, it had been missing for approximately 170 years. The truth is that no one knows how old the original tablet of Shamash was, who created it, or what era it came from. All experts do know is that it was a prized possession sought for centuries by the most learned nobles of the land. What is known of the tablet of Shamash is the exact interpretation of the words written on it. The following is a concise summary of the writing on the tablet. Our story begins in 870 BCE with the rediscovery of the tablet of Shamash.
Shamash, the great lord, who dwells in Ebabara, which is Sippar. Sin, Shamash, and Ishtar are set over against the heavenly ocean within the divine judge. Headdress of Shamash, rod of dew. After the region was overthrown by the Sutu, the law of Shamash was forgotten because the tablet containing his figure and insignia were destroyed. With it no longer available to be seen, its knowledge left the people's minds. Even though Shamash refused to reveal himself to the king continued to pay tribute to Shamash by making regular offerings. The king erected a shrine for Shamash in the hope that one day Shamash's image and insignia could be placed there, but they were not found. During a time of distress and famine, a seer, mystic, or shaman settled in the area. By this point, a new king had taken the throne, and the offerings to Shamash had all been discontinued. The seer approached the new king and requested that tributes once again be made to Shamash. He claimed the lack of those offerings had caused the famine and cost the land Shamash's favor. The king granted the seer a meager allowance equal to the least amount of any director or priest of one of the other gods. It was given to rebuild a relationship or establish contact with Shamash. The seer was given a place to contemplate or meditate upon Shamash. It appears that this arrangement was to be carried out in secret because the offerings were not to take place at Shamash's shrine. They were to be carried out in a garden district, most likely destroyed by the famine. During this time, a new ruler arose. He and the followers of the man-god Marduk overthrew the Sutu. A natural leader, he restored order in the area which had spiraled into chaos. The land was once again worth living in. The new leader created many shrines to all the gods, including Shamash. He also had their works of art recreated. After all the troubles, the old rules and regulations were once again accepted by the people. Free will offerings of gratitude increased. Though Marduk became the god of the people, Shamash remained the god of the gods. It became known that even though Shamash had been angry with the people for abandoning him, the garden offerings that had been established by the previous king for Shamash pleased him. The secret offerings became viewed as the source of the blessing that had looked over Marduk during the overthrow. During this time of peace and expansion, the lost image of Shamash and the law was found in a secret place, where it had been hidden long ago by the king before the cities of Uruk and Nippur had been sacked and looted. The offspring of the original seer, the new caretaker of Shamash's garden, was called to the king, presumably to explain what the image means. To celebrate the return of the tablet of Shamash, after 170 years of being lost, an exact copy of the image of the law was crafted and given to the seer. Although it is not stated, it was presumably to be taken back to the garden to be meditated upon and deciphered. So excited was the king to have Shamash's image and guide back that he commissioned another copy of it be prepared out of gold and placed in Shamash's temple. A purification ritual or water baptism, the washing of the mouth, or possibly the swearing of secrecy was established, and a permanent clergy for Shamash's temple was put in place. Great offerings were made to Shamash. Word of Shamash's return to the temple spread, and many settlers wishing to be close to him moved to the area. The king proclaimed that this blessing and bounty were brought upon the people through the diligence of the seer and his children, who, with so little to offer Shamash and even less to survive off, had maintained the garden and restored Shamash's faith in the people. The seer, for having rebuilt the relationship with Shamash with so little, was granted the king's share of profits from the temple. The garden, now thriving, was appointed guards and a percentage of all offerings from the temple. Additional officials, presumably from the temple, were to be assigned to the garden as well. Each of them were to receive twice the allowance of their counterparts in the temple. It is believed by some that this is the beginning of the establishing of an intellectual class with influence over an administrative class. This was done because, even though the king had the image of Shamash and the law back, they did not know what it actually means. This elite group, above the administrative group, were given all the resources required to decipher the message hidden in the image. With the gold replica as a draw, the profits of the temple and the population of the area grew. However, the secret knowledge contained in the image remained lost. Rules for the temple, including festivals at various times of the year, and a dress code for the priests were established. With the religion firmly re-established, there was only one problem. The priesthood of the garden still could not figure out what the image of Shamash and the law says. We can assume this because nowhere on the commemorative tablet we have today is there an explanation of what the tablet actually means. There can only be two reasons why. They either did not want to share the powerful knowledge it reveals, or at the time this commemorative tablet was created, they still did not know. It is more likely that they did not know because the commemorative text on the tablet ends with the following decree. To whoever in the future shall enter this palace as ruler, should you attempt to annul the rules of this temple, present another idol for worship, steal from the offerings brought to Shamash, declare the tablet to be your property, and remove it so the public cannot see it, or should you destroy the tablet, Shamash and the Lords of Judgment will ensure your demise. A great curse will bring about the destruction of your family through oppression and hunger.
To those who believe the tablet to be the most divinely inspired artistic creation in human history, it is the most important communication ever made by God to humanity. Some believe that this was the beginning of the tradition of hidden truth versus story told to control the masses. Regardless of these two positions, the version of the tablet we have today is a gift for the future from the king of that ancient time. The king had this commemorative tablet produced to protect the original from being lost again. However, sometime after 870 BCE, during the endless conflicts of the region, the tablet was once again looted and Shamash's temple destroyed. Again, only temporarily lost, it was rediscovered by King Nabu-apal-User, who reigned from 624 to 605 BCE. To protect the commemorative tablet for the future, he had it placed in a clay box with an inscription to keep it safe, because by that time it had already been broken. The original tablet and solid gold replica were either lost again in an uprising or abandoned to the progress of time. Regardless of the reason, the image on the tablet lay once again in hiding until being discovered in approximately 1881 CE. The line-by-line breakdown of the text on the tablet comes from the British Museum. They are the current keepers of the commemorative tablet found in 1881. Today, after such an extraordinary journey through time, senior think tank.ca offers a bold new interpretation of what the image on the tablet of Shamash and the law says. In the beginning, before Shamash evolved into the god that the tablet is dedicated to, he was the Sumerian sun god Utu. Utu's symbol is a sun emitting 8 bands of rays. Utu had a twin sister called Inanna. Inanna's symbol is an 8-pointed star. Utu is the light from the sun. Inanna is the sun's light reflecting off the planet Venus. At night, Inanna watches over the affairs of the world. The moon reflects Utu, the sun, to remind us that even in darkness we are not abandoned. The sun, or the influence energy has over us, is absolute. This understanding is one of the factors that united the solar and lunar cults. The symbol everyone is worshipping on Shamash's shield is half of each of their 2 symbols. Half the points of Inanna's reflection and half the rays of Utu's sun. This results in the transformation of Utu into the new god, Shamash. The symbol on Shamash's shield is an attempt to restore balance. As the original yin and yang, Shamash is using this symbol to try and explain that balance is the equal contribution of both the feminine and masculine, which means that the one principle all things are manifest from is polarity. Without acknowledgement that potential differences are a requirement of life, there can never be harmony, which is peace. At the point in time when Utu becomes Shamash, the trend in Mesopotamia was already leaning toward the suppression of the feminine in favor of the masculine. That occurred because of the cults dedicated to the myth of the man-god Marduk. How that myth did this will be explained in a future chapter. This policy spiraled the region into a state of perpetual imbalance. The only way to return the region to harmony is to unite the twins, Inanna and Utu. All other assessments as to what the tablet of Shamash says are pure speculation. Therefore, it is left to the reader to decide if the findings of this investigation feel true, or are they all merely coincidence.